pleased to introduce to you Anil Shetty. He's a startup investment banker and also the founder of MetaMan. Welcome.
Thank you.
And also we have Priti Sawant, and she is the founder of Joules to Watts. Now, I'm going to make this very clear. It's not jewels like you've got on your fantastic outfit, but it's jewels, the ones that you learned about in physics all those years ago in my particular case. But what's interesting about them is that they are both matchmakers. Now, don't get excited if you're here looking for a partner, unless you're looking for a partner in terms of somebody who's a technology expert, or somebody who you might want to help you find an investor, or if you're a company looking for investment, because Anil finds investment money and matches that with companies who are starting up, who are scaling up. And Priti matchmakes talent, technology talent, engineering talent, technology talent with companies, with Fortune 500 companies who are looking to build their digital services, whether it's digitalization, automation, that kind of thing. Now, let's hear a little bit about why you guys are up here together. Priti, tell us about why you couldn't find anyone else to raise money. Why did you go to Anil?
I guess just to give you a quick background is I had exited my earlier venture successfully.
So it's not your first rodeo.
No,
you sold out of your first venture.
Yes.
Right.
And subsequently also listed that company, helped them set up US as well as Manila. And I was actually working around the second one, and we were in process of building our product. And I met someone at one of the VC funds, and he kind of felt that I must meet him, and I'm sure many people around would kind of vouch for that, sometime if you know him, you must meet him. It's an interesting story, like the half monk story he gave you.
We'll get to that. Half monk. How many half monks do you know? Right, we'll get to that in a minute. Yep.
And when I met him, he introduced me to Mr. Mohandas Pai. He was here as
who was here and is a great friend of India Global
market
Forum.
leader, somebody who's really built the India's startup story with a lot of founders. And first 20 minutes, Mr. Mohandas Pai and Dr. Anjan Pai, again, probably India's probably second largest, richest, and somebody who's built the large healthcare empire in India. They came on board in 20 minutes. And
interesting.
He did introduce me to both of them, and that's how probably, we are working on this. And he keeps telling me that he made the biggest loss by kind of introducing me, because he took the fees and not the equity in my company. So today, if he would have taken the equity, probably he would have been much more richer.
That's interesting, because this is part of what you do, Anil, is that you take the fee, which is what normal investment bankers do, but instead of taking that fee and holidaying in Mauritius, you actually take equity usually in the companies. Is that right?
Yes. I learned it from the mistake only. So my first ever deal was, it's a company called Licious.
India's as in biggest, half of delicious.
Yeah, half of the delicious. So India's biggest fresh meat delivery startup.
Fresh meat delivery startup.
It's a meat brand now. And I remember taking the two founders to Mr. Mohandas Pai first time. So he booted us out. He said, "You guys cannot build this. So get out of this. So it's not going to work." And it took me almost about 3 to 4 weeks to persuade him to put money, small money. So it's less than $100,000. And probably Licious is his biggest portfolio. Licious is now a $2 billion unicorn. And of course, I didn't make the same mistake what I did with Priti, so I converted my fees into equity. Of course, then rest is the history. So it's 7 years, and Licious is a big brand. And sometimes I call myself a matchmaker in the startup world. So in fact, my friend is sitting here, Abhijit Pai. So he knows that how much I persuade investors to invest in founders and whom I believe in. Sometimes what happens is that the founders may not be very good at communication. I remember one day Abhijit called me and said, "Are you sure you're going to take a guarantee of this founder? So then we'll put in the money." So this is what I do. So I do the matchmaking job. So
Let's just get to that half monk point, because I think we can't leave this story untold. You have been an entrepreneur yourself, and in fact, one of your early ventures was another matchmaking, trying to get sell seats on airplanes next to celebrities. Now, that wasn't a huge success. Why was that?
Well, so it was called Fly with VIP long ago. It was in 2010. So I was just a 23-year-old boy, so who floated a startup called Fly with VIP, where you used to auction seat next to the celebrities on the flight. So we buy a seat next to them, adjacent seat, and auction it to public. And we could even raise close to $1 million at that point of time.
Right.
And of course, many things went wrong, and we failed. And I lost a couple of my investors' money. And then, of course, I had to make them invest in some other founders who did well. So
was becoming a half monk part, did you sort of have to meditate on that failure? What was that?
Well, before I started that venture, I started as a student entrepreneur at the age of 20. So I started in the financial market.
Right.
And with the Bernie Madoff sell in 2008, so I had to become a half monk.
Okay.
So because it was too much to take. So and then the Fly with VIP as the second venture. So both the ventures failed. And then I realized that I could do best in terms of, because as you know, as you learned many things in failures. So I thought it's better to become a matchmaker between the founders and the investors. So because I know how investors behave when you fail and how the founders
behave.
Yeah. Let's get to your venture, Priti, because it's a really interesting concept. Tell us briefly about how it works.
So joules to watts, as you rightly said, everybody starts with, what does this mean? Joules is unit of work done, energy per second. So technology industry, as we all realize, it's an extremely fast-paced industry. It's all about how can we do things faster, building efficiencies, building cost arbitrage. So after my first venture, where we actually created market for technology staffing in India, where we had to really go and tell global in-house centers, which India is the largest hub today, that why should you outsource workforce? After building that, and of course a successful exit, we felt that now we need to use technology to really expand this and build India on the global map. Today, India has got 50% of global in-house centers as housed out of India, and 65% of GIC's headcount is based in India. So we can understand post-pandemic, India's technology talent pool requirement has gone to 23 million, which was projected to be 10 million.
Right.
So I guess talent, which is the largest asset of an organization today. Earlier it used to be physical assets. Today human capital, one is your working capital. Human capital is 2.5 times higher than the physical assets. And what Joules to Watts does is, with our 2 homegrown products, we build competencies with our 200 customers. On our J2W offer letter is one of our products. We have close to 2 million users. And we have a gig tech platform.
A gig tech platform,
which is around only super niche, like niche technology.
Super niche things. So people who have become really good at building specific kinds of.
Absolutely. So it would be artificial intelligence or machine learning, or all digital skills like full stack developers, etc. Both the products, tech-enabled ones, actually build the 5,000 people company today we have. And close to 200 customers are taking our services with these products.
Interesting. Now, I know that you have a really special way that you want to build your company. And there's a lot of chat, especially at India Global Forum, about unicorns. And we love this idea that India is building unicorns, but you don't want to become a unicorn. Why?
No, so I think what I was trying to tell you is that what are we hungry for? We are hungry for building our user base from 2 million to 5 million. We are chasing our 200 global customers to get to 2,000 GICs are going to come to India. There are already 1,300. We want to increase that landscape. And we want to really build technology around building talent architecture. We say that if I want to build a GIC in India or anywhere globally, what should be my talent architecture? How do we design that? And we use technology behind it and then build talent analytics around it. Today, entire growth story of any large tech captive or tech solutioning center is around how am I going to build competency, and we really want to be those architects in that particular.
So you're happy
domain.
to be a unicorn, but you just want to build rather than.
I
be
guess
just
all
valued.
these matrices will get us to the unicorn status any which way.
I've tried convincing her twice to raise money because she
Interesting.
did not raise money after I got her the first round.
You just want that equity.
Yeah, so I tried. So 2-3 times I asked her, why don't you raise at 100 million, 200 million? Then every time whenever I ask her, she tells me about her top line and the bottom line. I said, okay, you don't need money, so I don't have a job with you.
Right. Interesting. We've run out of time. I want to get a sense from you of how you could reimagine the UK-India relationship. You guys have built incredible businesses for yourselves within India. Talk a little about global, your global expansion ideas, Anil.
Well, I've been hearing most of the speakers talk about UK-India relationship and the trade deals, what could happen between two countries. And I believe that we both are natural allies of the long-standing relationship what we both have, the both good and the bad. So when you have the both good and the bad, you know people very well. So I think India has, everyone believe that it's going to be a story of the next 2-3 decades, correct? It was a story of the last decade. It's going to be a continued story for the next 2-3 decades. So I believe that India has talent, India has a culture and hunger, and everybody in India, it's got thousands of startups, and one day soon we'll have 100,000 startups with 250 unicorns. So UK, I believe that we caught up with the technology faster than anybody. I think our common man understands how to use technology. So that's something phenomenal about our country, because everybody thought that we're a poor country with the less number of literate people, but we are no more that. So we have come to a stage where everybody on the phone, you can go to a coconut, the tender coconut vendor, and you can just pay using your
absolutely. India's already arrived.
UPI. So I think we have already arrived in terms of technology. So we could be because of the scale what we could achieve in terms of any technology. So I think we are the biggest. We're going to be the biggest in this space. And UK has. You guys have 65 million people, which is as good as my state. So of course, I think in terms of innovation, I was just talking to Manoj that time. So I think UK-India innovation challenge is something which I think will be a great idea. So because it's like the current innovation in India is coming from some of the rural areas. So villages, some guy sitting in a remote village, and because he has access to the world knowledge on the phone because of the internet, so he is able to solve the problem. So and innovate in different sectors.
Let
me pause you there because we've run out of time, and I want to make sure we get a word in from Priti.
I think in the interest of time, I guess yesterday Mohandas Pai and Nikhil also mentioned that the trade looks like a little long shot, but services is what we can certainly look at. And India is just not population. I guess it's carrying highly skilled population and can be leveraged to kind of digitize. And as Mr. Mohandas Pai said, that if we can build a digital platform where we can leverage this India skilled population, which as I said, 5 million engineers we produce every year, and highly skilled engineers, right? And how can we leverage that technology bit, as he said, for...
But your engineers are all over the world, right? So it's not just Indian engineers. You've got people everywhere, digital nomads.
I mean, pandemic changed everything, right? We are location agnostic now. So we have, and not just in India, as he rightly said, there are engineers sitting in remote area helping somebody in US, today. So I think that's where it will open up. So maybe some visa and immigration regulations get a little lighter. Probably it will build a stronger bond.
Interesting. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time. Vastly fascinating story. We look forward to seeing who else you matchmake with and how many more engineers we can find. Let's give a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.